Hello and welcome to this lesson where today we're going to be focusing on the breakdown of triglycerides into energy. First off then, let's have a little think about what the primary function of body fat is. Well, the answer is that it's a form of energy, and it's the most concentrated form of energy you have stored in your body, offering roughly twice the amount of energy per gram as carbohydrate. Our body has evolved over many years in order to be able to store fats. Evolutionarily speaking, when food sources were less secure, we weren't quite sure how long we were going to have to go between meals, and so therefore our body needed to develop an efficient storage method to see us between these meals. Hence, our bodies have evolved to efficiently store as much energy as possible. Obviously, for most of us living in developed countries nowadays, this is no longer a problem, and we get 3 regular meals a day. The problem with this highly efficient storage method, combined with the fact that our diets now include large amounts of fat anyway, means that a lot of the developing world is struggling with an obesity problem. Most of the fat in our body, as we can see here, is stored in cells called adipose tissue. These are found surrounding organs to provide shock absorbency and a degree of protection for those organs, but mainly underneath the layers of skin. In addition to this, a very small percentage of your fats are actually stored within the muscle. If we look at the process of breaking down lipids or triglycerides, we have to think about the structure of a triglyceride. So we've got a glycerol head and then attached are 3 fatty acid chains. The first step in the breakdown process is to remove these fatty acid chains from the glycerol head. This is a process called lipolysis. The fatty acid chains can then be further broken down in a process called beta oxidation. Again, let's look at a diagram to see how that works. Here we can see on the right are the cells representing our adipose tissue, where the vast majority of our fats are stored. As we mentioned, they're stored in the adipose tissue as triglycerides, and when they're broken down into the fatty acids and the glycerol head, this is a process called lipolysis. The opposite of this process is called lipogenesis. Remember, genesis means the creation or the building up of. Once the fatty acid chains have been split off the glycerol head, they end up performing different functions. They get transported in the bloodstream to the working muscles where they're needed to provide energy. This is where the glycerol head can actually be broken down into pyruvate. The fatty acids, once they arrive in the working muscles, they get broken down in a process of beta oxidation into a substrate called acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA is something else we'll be talking about in future lessons, as it's an intermediary substrate for the energy systems.